Hey, welcome back, guys. Power Book 2's 6th episode revolved around the theme of deception, each character being impacted by the forcefulness of their lies, and Tariq's fists in some cases. I'm here to break it all down in typical Top 10 WTF fashion. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things Power. Here we go. WTF moment number 10, Failed Homecoming. Lauren awakens in all of her beauty and splendor at her parents' home, having visited there following her bombshell revelation of existence to a stunned Tariq. Awaiting their return, she hears activity at the front door, only to be unpleasantly surprised by Jenny Sullivan, her legal counsel turned captor. Lauren hides the fact that she revealed her status to Tariq, and Jenny updates her on her parents' true whereabouts. Then, Jenny forces Lauren back into cooperative custody, but only under the condition that Lauren speaks with Sax does she fully agree to return. WTF moment number 9, Fists of Fury. Coming off the elevator on supposedly just another routine day, Brayden is violently greeted by Tariq's fists and interrogated about his role in Lauren's disappearance. Brayden attempts to hold on to the official line on her death, but Tariq continues his rage, revealing that they're investigating him because of her murder. As we know, Brayden never intended to kill Lauren. We all remember who called that audible. In a last-ditch effort to stop the bleeding, literally, Brayden unveils Kane's role in the treachery, which leads Tariq down the Effie rabbit hole. Tariq already knows Effie's involvement due to the bombshell reunion with his former muse, but no one else knows she's alive. This is why Reek follows the line of questioning. Also, I think he wanted to test his comrade to see if he'd tell him the truth about what he already knows. And for this part at least, he passed. WTF moment number 8, Break Up by the River. Tariq takes Effie for a ride to a surprise location, and the two share a deep exchange en route to the spot, including Tariq's never-ending cycle of grief and Effie's unfortunate history of abuse. Tariq opens this door of vulnerability, hoping to extract the truth from her lips. Growing suspicious of the trip following the tense exchange, Tariq ups the ante by stopping at the same river where Effie did the deed and ferociously interrogates his lady on the truth of her involvement, causing her to almost pull a gun. Reek drops the police angle on Effie towards the conclusion, and the two briefly argue on the merits and treachery of her actions. Then, Tariq leaves his now ex-girlfriend with a flurry of fuck yous and hilariously allows her to sit in the mess that she made. Now Tariq, just because you finally copped a whip, don't mean you gotta be making chicks walk, little nigga. WTF moment number 7, Severance Package. Effie and Brayden return to the warehouse only to learn that they've been demoted per Tariq's security. Having been denied entry by any means necessary, Effie blames Brayden for the fiasco, but Brayden quickly reminds Lil Red Riding Hood that it was her blabbery to Kane that really pissed off the Junior St. Patrick. WTF moment number 6, Grandma's Hands. At his lowest point, left with nowhere to turn and no one to trust, Tariq visits the gravesite of his deceased family members, Raina and Ghost. Speaking to the soul of the former, he laments hitting the wall with his surrogate family, only to be reminded of his own contribution to his current circumstances by none other than his grandma Estelle. The wise, weary old-timer offers her grandson the sword and the Band-Aid all at once, rebuking his crimes against the family while easing his spirit towards a peaceful solution. The parallel ran during this scene was reminiscent of Ghost and Tasha's prior exchange at Raina's grave, and even mirrors that dialogue. Tariq, like his father, is surprised by his grandma's presence there, ignorant to the fact that she's a weekly visitor to her slain flock. This is due to the St. Patrick men's own self-absorption in the grand scheme of things, both missing out on precious moments in the life and now death of their loved ones. WTF moment number 5, The Russian Job. Drew yearns for revenge against the Russians, believing them to be his father's killers. Against Monet's wishes, he disguises himself as a delivery man and infiltrates a Russian bar housing one of their major turf leaders. Distracting a beautiful hurdle to entry with the old charm, Drew discovers his target and with Gordo's help, murders him in cold blood, a death that wouldn't go down without pending consequences. WTF moment number 4, Hey Effie. Effie abruptly visits Diana and propositions her with an alliance in selling drugs, using her knowledge of Dee's current operation against her. She then assures Diana that she'll handle the hard aspects, so long as she doesn't mention the potential endeavor to Tariq. Surprisingly, Effie is shocked when the door fully opens, showing Tariq in full view. He nonchalantly greets his new ex, and putting two and two together, Effie storms off in hurt and shame. This may be a short-lived victory for Tariq's ego, but it'll have dire consequences going forward on two fronts: Effie's relationship with Kane and the potential one with law enforcement if she's hauled in, as the trailers have suggested. A heartbroken and scorned Effie will utilize these two entities to hurt Tariq to his core, as he's done to her in this situation. WTF moment number 3, subway stopover. Seemingly taking his opportunity to save his remaining family and leave the game, Tariq plans with his grandma to meet up and subsequently depart. However, upon entering the subway, he notices that he's been followed the whole time by none other than Obi and his men. Noma's number 2, suspecting Tariq's true plan, interrogates the Junior St. Patrick in a warehouse. Reek uses his wits and the lingering Noma threat to gain release from Obi's sinister plan. This revealed Obi's fear of Noma's wrath if he did indeed interrupt business that would have been fruitful to her. WTF moment number 2, funeral fiasco. Lorenzo's funeral is held, and each member of the Tejada family pays their respects alongside select loved ones. Kane in particular vows to never let his father down again, which essentially means the war is on the horizon inevitably. Upon transporting their father's body for burial, the ceremony is interrupted by the Russians, who violently retaliate for the senseless murder of their comrade. Shocked by the event, the Tejadas get into a shootout with the Russians, which leads to another fight in the aftermath between Drew and Kane over the rash decision to attack the dangerous collective. Kane's fury really lies in the truth that he's currently hiding from his siblings regarding Lorenzo's death, and it's only going to get worse from here. And WTF moment number 1, warning from beyond. Once arriving home, Monet is jarred by Lorenzo's ghost. He professes his lingering love for his wife despite her treachery and leaves her with a promise. Once the kids discover the truth of their father's demise, they're never going to forgive their wayward mother. This is the undisputed truth, and I cannot wait to see the shit and the fan have that one conversation by season's end, because this revenge will be nothing short of sweet. Some lingering thoughts before we end today's video. The beginning of the episode finds Monet coming face to face with her husband's corpse, and ironically ends with her being confronted by that corpse in apparition form. Her karma will be as haunting as it is protracted as her children inch closer and closer to the truth in the weeks to come. Also, we get our second view of Paz's son during Monet's identification of Lorenzo. I wonder what his role will be towards the conclusion of this season. Kane channeled his inner Mecca when questioning Monet about Lorenzo's death. If you remember, Monet presented her eldest son with Renzo's life insurance policy immediately following the tragic news and charged him with laundering duties for the money. Amid his growing suspicion, she foolishly laid out more information than necessary. Kane never outright accused his mother of killing his pops, only wondering if she'd have questions for him. However, Monet introduced the notion of murder through her own denials and defense, even suggesting that Kane would be on that same hit list if she was the true culprit. This exchange wasn't merely a surface encounter, because Monet later revealed that she plans to move forward with Drew as the head of the family, which is what Lorenzo intended. But given what she outlined with Kane, would she dare attempt to kill her firstborn son? If she killed her husband, this commentator certainly wouldn't put it past her. Thankfully, Kane wouldn't either. He's the only one who knows the truth, even if he can't prove it at this time. Such knowledge will serve him well in case Monet goes full mommy dearest on the family in the final 4 episodes. Davis and Tate are about to embark on one of the funniest alliances in Power history. Davis can't stand that lying-ass nigga, and for good reason, but he also requires his help if his brother is to extend his days above ground. Davis is also a seasoned liar, so this endeavor may end up favoring him in the long run. Saxon and Jenny are truly 2 wings on the same bird. He's seeing the error in her chosen path because he once traveled on it himself, and it nearly cost him everything. When he shared that Truth nightclub information with her, he thought he was being vulnerable with a friend, former colleague, and future lover, not someone who would connivingly store that information in her legal confession Rolodex. Jenny has made it clear that she doesn't care about Saxon the slightest, but only about catching Tariq and getting his collective back for making her look like a fool before the legal world. This is finally starting to register with Sax, and her blackmail attempt is only going to cost her career in the end, except this go-round, it'll be irrevocable. And lastly, it seems like Tariq finally got his Mary Jane back in Diana, and I like that pairing best for him, to be honest. Lauren was too innocent, and Effie was too treacherous. But Diana was always just the right cross between saint and sinner to appeal to Tariq beyond the surface. I'm rooting for them to bring this thing together permanently. And if what I've just stated isn't reason enough, I really hate that bitch-ass fake Hotep, Tevin Campbell from 96 looking ass nigga. Diana lowered herself by giving him the cheeks, but through her original lover, redemption can be achieved. And that'll do it for this one. What were your thoughts on Power Go's 6th episode this season? Be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are Power fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.
Beat that,